Hello, Mr. Sam. I'm Azan from CAT. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Azan. How are you?
Just as good as I can be after a 3-hour flight.
Well, it's remarkable how dedicated you are to your work.
Well, I would like to thank you so much for making out the time to arrange this meeting, given the fact how busy you are.
Well, it's part of my job to keep my eyes open for the best offers for my company.
I agree to that.
That seems interesting.
Well, I often travel to a lot of cities for my work as I'm a sales representative for my company, so I believe that it's the best part of my job and I love it.
Well, that's great. That's great to see.
So before I introduce you to our product, I would like to ask you a couple of questions to get a better understanding of your business.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what are the trucks that you usually use in your daily mining activities?
Well, we usually use JCB 72020.
And how many of these trucks are commissioned for this work?
Well, we divide our mines into 4 sections, each section using 10 trucks each, with a total of 40 trucks per section, per mine.
And what is the payload capacity of these trucks?
Well, our payload capacity for our trucks is around 20 tons.
And what would be the total payload that you need to deliver to the mining areas every day?
Well, it varies each day, but according to our stats, it's around 1,200 tons.
Have you faced any kind of issues with these trucks?
Well, these trucks require regular maintenance, so every 2 weeks we have to make sure everything is good and running.
And have you faced any kind of financial losses or problems due to these maintenance costs?
Well, these maintenance costs are pretty expensive because our axles break down due to heavy loads, and we would always have to change our tires of each individual truck every 3 months.
And so what would be the total, roughly estimated cost of these losses?
Well, these losses would be around $5 to $6 million to our bottom line.
Oh, that's a big cost. But what if I tell you I can bring back this $5 to $6 million back into your profit and improve your bottom line? How would that sound?
That would sound great. I'd like to hear more.
So let me explain how we here at CAT can help you convert your lost expenses and losses into your profit. By analyzing all your problems that you told me, I believe that JCB 722 is the ultimate reason of all your problems. And what I believe is that CAT 797F can help you solve all these problems, and it's the ultimate solution. But it just doesn't end there. CAT 797F can help you improve the efficiency and the mining power of your mines. But you might ask me, what is 797F? Do you have any idea about it?
No, I
Have you heard about it yet?
I have not.
So let me tell you, CAT 797F is the world's most biggest and advanced haul truck. CAT 797F comes with the trusted name of CAT over the last 93 years actually. We have been trusted with the most heavy power automotive industry and construction. And CAT 797F is one of the machines that stands on that name, and it delivers to you the CAT experience. But let me explain you how it's going to help you improve your business. The answer lies in the problems that you're currently facing. The 722s that you're using right now have a payload capacity of 20 tons, as you said to me. And our CAT 797 has a humongous capacity of 400 tons. So that's literally substituting one truck for the 722s that you're using right now. And the advantages don't just stop there, it's just the beginning. The other advantage of CAT 757F is that you save on a lot of other expenses related to owning a truck for a mining company. For example, you might be paying 20 different salaries to 20 different drivers for this truck, for these 722s, right? And for a CAT 797F, you just need one of those drivers. That's directly $500,000 to $600,000 of saving a year in just the driver expenses itself. Whereas if you think about parking spaces, you might think it's a big truck, it will require a lot of space. But that's not true. CAT 797F requires the parking space of just 4 regular 722Fs, which helps you save a lot of real estate and helps you use that space for a lot of different other important business activities. And one of the most important and most astonishing benefits of 797F is its humongous capacity engine. CAT 797F has the world's biggest and the most powerful 3,793 horsepower engine, whereas our regular 722F has an engine of about 300 horsepower. So that's literally 20 or 30 times the power of your normal truck that we're talking about today. And the benefits further expand, but are not just limited to the expenses such as insurance. So if you think about insuring 20 different trucks, it's a huge cost of more than $900 to $800,000 a year. Where if you talk about cat, a cat insurance, it's so cheap that the regular amount of your Ford trucks can cover a cat for its whole life. So you might think a truck with such a big engine would require a lot of fuel to run, but let me tell you, how much fuel does it usually take for a 722 to run? Is it like around 35 to 45 gallons a kilometer?
Yeah, that's about right.
Whereas if I say a cat can take the load 20 times more and still work on an efficiency that is better than what you are facing with 722. A cat can go about a kilometer in just 30 to 40 gallons of petrol. That literally saves you an average amount of like around, if I do a rough estimate, it will be around $800,000 to $900,000 a year on one truck just for gas prices. And that directly goes to your bottom line, increasing your efficiency. And when was the last time you needed a repair on your 722s?
Well, the last time we needed a repair was last month, but then it took JCB 5 days to get it set up.
So what you're saying is that JCB took you 5 days to come and help you solve that problem?
That is correct.
Okay, let me tell you one thing cat has been most trusted with. We have one of the world's best services that we offer. So if you look to cat, and if you ever run into a problem with any of our machines, you just give a call, and one of our inspection teams will be there within 24 hours of your call, and we'll be ready to inspect it. We guarantee that, and we stand on our word. So we have talked a lot about 797F, but I would like to show you now what is 797F and how does it work, especially the enormous capacity of its engine. So I have a video with me where we shot a 797F with a full payload capacity of 40 tons, climbing the steep slope of 75 degrees. Like at this angle, usually all the common trucks, including the 722 that you're using, fail to deliver, and they just can't, their engine just doesn't have enough power to climb the slope. So if you see here, this 797F is completely loaded, and the hill that you see are the normal mining conditions that you see. And if you see right here, it's just climbing the mountain with ease. And how it's going to help you in the mines is that if you try to dig deeper, the hole's going to get steeper, and you're going to need trucks to get out. And if you were with any normal truck, you would need to build roads around the mines all over for the trucks to come up. But with the 797F and its engine capacity, you don't have to build all those roads. You can just build like straight roads up or less circles, because you can make it steeper now. So you won't have any problems with 797F climbing those steep hills, which will help you dig deeper, and it will definitely help you improve your bottom line. So we've talked about 797F and everything, and so let's come to the most important question. How much does a 797F cost? But before that, I would like to ask you, how much have you spent on all the insurances of your JCB trucks?
There's no part, there's no part for it there.
Oh yeah, I don't have to ask for the cost about it.
Well, you don't have to say insurance, you say, all you have to do is just say the cost of one cat, which is 3.4 million, and then that's it. You can just scroll down to here, right? Because you know most of it, right?
Let's just start from. So let's go to the most important questions. What is the cost of the 1797F, the machine that I'll be talking about until now? So the cost of 1797F, including taxes and all the expenses, is $3.4 million. And you have various options to customize it for the particular needs of the industry that the 797 is working in.
Well, that definitely solves my problem regarding the issue, but my last concern is technology. Since technology is rapidly changing, wouldn't that mean I would have to replace my product, or your product?
Well, the innovation goes slow in heavy motive auto industry, because it's not like smartphones which keep upgrading and new technology comes every 1 or 2 years. In the automotive industry, it takes usually about 10-20 years for new technologies to come in. The CAT 797F was developed like 11 years ago, and it still is one of the most advanced trucks that we have. But if you're concerned about the developments in softwares and technologies, we take care of that. Don't worry, because we give you free software updates, and all the software that needs to goes with the machinery. We give free updates for them in our maintenance pack. And if you're concerned about the attachments, if the new attachments come, so at CAD we develop all our attachments for the new kind of environment. So we make sure that they comply with all our regular standard machines, including the 797F. So if there's anything that we develop new in the market, it is going to fit the 797F. And nevertheless, the CAD 797F was developed 10 years ahead of its time. And for the next 20 years, I'm sure it's going to be one of the most advanced machines still, and you will never have to worry about it. Because if I tell you about a stat, over the last 80,000 CADs that we have sold, none of them in those 11 years have been decommissioned yet.
Well, that solves all of my concerns. I like what you have to say today, and I've decided I would love to do business with you. I'll talk to my team, and maybe we can decide on a time to meet up and discuss further details.
That's amazing. It was nice meeting you and doing business with you.
You too.
Thank you.